The K-pop Demon Hunters took everyone by surprise when it came out and got millions of views week after week, becoming Netflix's most popular film yet. Now, on the face of it, it's a kids' movie, but its success is a milestone in the growing global appeal of K-pop. And it also reveals how something authentically Korean in its imagery and its influences could bring in audiences of all ages all over the world. The force behind it is Maggie Kang, whose parents came to Canada from Korea and who went on to work as an animator in Hollywood, always imagining that some project reflecting her culture would come her way. But it didn't. And so she began her own, the story of a girl band with secrets. And Maggie labored for years on every detail, from the locations to the voice and the look of the characters to the title and, of course, the music. Now, she and her co-director, Chris Applehans, are watching K-pop Demon Hunters win success at the Golden Globes, at the Grammys, and they're hoping for the same at the Oscars. Fans, meanwhile, are hoping for a sequel, something I asked Maggie Kang about when she joined me from her home in LA for this conversation. Tell me, first of all, what was the moment when you realized that your creation had become a global phenomenon last year?
Oh, a global phenomenon. I guess it is. I think it was around September. I took a trip to Korea, and then on the way back, that was when the sing-alongs were starting. And so our crew was in New York, and so I flew back from Korea right to JFK, and as soon as I landed, they took me to a screening for one of the sing-alongs somewhere near Central Park. And I was very jet-lagged. I walked in and we're backstage and they said, nobody knows you guys are here, but we're going to surprise the audience. And it was myself, Chris Applehans, Arden Cho, I think Kevin Wu and Ray Ami were there. And so after the film, we walked in, and I don't think I had experienced a kind of kid audience yet, because I'd seen all the reactions from Instagram and TikTok and online, but not in person. And so to walk out there and see just a wall of like screaming kids, just wearing their Huntrix outfits and the wigs and the parents, and it was just kind of all demographics and a lot of kids as well, and they were just screaming and they were like loving this movie, and I think that just really blew my mind. I just hadn't really realized how big it was and how many different people were really loving the film. So that was, and then on top of the jet lag, I think that was a very special moment.
What a great moment, and also a significant moment in the story of the film, because that was some weeks after release on Netflix, but the sing-alongs were the way that it went for a short time into movie theaters. Yes, and you got this communal experience, which obviously meant so much to you as the creator.
Yes, that was pretty intense. It was just a great experience to watch the film on a big screen with the live audience. And, you know, as a filmmaker who has worked on this movie for so long, for 7 years, and, you know, I think the movie got so global so quickly because we were on a streaming platforms, and you know, through Netflix, we were able to release the movie. I believe it was something like 120 countries at once. And that was just an incredible way to release. And yeah, I don't think you could get as global as that. And so we benefited from that release and having it be dubbed in so many languages as well. But to experience a movie that you made and worked on for so long in a theater with an audience who already loved the movie. I don't know what it's like with an audience that doesn't know your movie yet, but they're already there loving it. And it felt like a concert, and it felt like I was experiencing what we were trying to capture in our film, is that communal love for something, for Huntrix. And so that was very special.
And I want to hear the story of those 7 years and getting to the moment that the movies come out. But before I do that, Kara Swisher was the one who first told me to see it, and I have. And I marvel at what you've done. But for anyone who hasn't seen it, I think we should tell a bit of the story. So how
Sure.
would you describe it? The clue is kind of in the title that it is both K-pop and about demon hunting.
Yes. The way that I pitched it to my producer friend who bought the concept is it's a K-pop girl group called Huntrix who secretly moonlight as demon hunters and protect the world from demons. That's it.
What kind of reactions did you get? Because hearing you say the words, like, we're all used to the concept now, it's been massively successful, but it sounds pretty unlikely.
Yes, it sounds pretty wild and pretty crazy. And fortunately, the person I pitched it to was very, very down to do it. He felt like it was very gettable and unique. And he was just immediately like, let's do this. And I totally thought he was joking. But the next week he had a deal ready. So we just jumped right into development. But it is a wild concept. I do agree.
And you had been thinking about it, had you, for a long time? Because at the heart of the movie, its authenticity, the fact that it's so rooted in Korean culture. This is, of course, your own heritage as a Korean Canadian.
Yes.
So was the genesis of the film in the back of your mind for a long time?
I've always wanted to do a film rooted in Korean culture, and I've always wanted to work on one since the beginning phases of my career. And I had talked to a bunch of Korean studios and so I knew that the desire to make something Korean was there, even in Korea, but we just didn't know how to get that off the ground. And for years, I waited for a project like this to come along that I could contribute to. But it never came. And so by the time I felt like I had developed my skills enough, my writing skills, my comedy skills, my storyboarding skills, my filmmaking skills, and I felt confident to step into the directing role, I thought, well, I guess nobody has done this yet. Maybe I have to take it on myself to make something for our culture. And so that's what I did.
And what you've done is create this blend of something that is authentic in that Korean mythology, the Korean language, the setting in Seoul,
Yes.
the names of your characters and places, and yet it's accessible. You know, it has that international feel to it. And deconstruct that for us. How do you produce that combination?
I truly believe it's because I am somebody who really lives between two cultures, almost equally, I would say. I've never really, I would always introduce myself as a Korean Canadian. I always put Korean first, even though I've spent the majority of my life outside of Korea. I was born in Korea. I lived there until I was 5 before my family immigrated to Canada. And I lived there for 18 years before moving to the States. But I always identified as Korean first. And I think it's because my parents, my mom specifically, always told me that you are Korean. You can never forget the language, and just really instilled that Korean pride in me early on. And because they really wanted my sister and I to have deep roots, with our culture, we spent all of our summer vacations in Korea with our cousins. And so that's where I was just immersed in Korean culture, Korean pop culture. And so I grew up listening to Korean music even before the kind of style of K-pop ever existed. Korean music is my first introduction to music, really. And so because I grew up with that, it was just always there. And then I guess, English is my second language, and English pop culture and North American pop culture is my second, knowledge. So I do feel like I have equally deep roots in both. And so I was able to kind of select all the things that I loved about each and meld it together, because that's who I am. I'm just a meld of both.